I'm just like, my edges are gone. Like, he cut off my edges. Imagine going to get a trim and you coming out with no edges. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. It is officially 2018 and that's crazy to say because I remember being really hyped about 2008 and that was 10 years ago, so there's that. But in other news, I am finally back here on YouTube. I haven't been on here, I haven't posted a video in almost 3 months. And I know I suck. I really do apologize for the big gaps in between all of my videos, but I told you guys in my last video that I am in college and this is my last year, so school comes before making videos. And there is a reason why I haven't posted an update video. So I'll just like catch you guys up on all of that in this video, and then I will give you a 6-month update because today is January 19th and tomorrow makes 6 months since I big chopped. So I'm just gonna jump right into my natural hair horror story and then give you guys the 6-month update. In my last video, I told you guys that I was about due for a trim. I was experiencing some breakage, some excess shedding, and I just, you know, it was time for a trim. It had been almost 4 months since I had big chopped. My ends were looking, you know, not so great. So I knew it was time to get a trim. And in that video, I had told you guys that I was contemplating going to a barber or going to a beautician. I decided to go to a barber. It just made sense in my head. I thought, hey, my hair isn't really super long and it's not super short, and I just thought it would be easier for a barber to kind of graze clippers across a fro than it would be for a beautician to kind of just go through section by section and trim that way. So I decided to go to a barber, and I didn't go to the same barber that I went to after my big chop, just because they're a little pricey. And I didn't want to spend $30 or $40 on a haircut, just knowing that that was their like base price. I just wasn't about that life to get my ends trimmed. So I decided to go to a barbershop around the corner from my house, and I went with my little sister. Before I went to the barbershop, I washed my hair, and instead of letting it air dry and being curly, I decided to blow it out to stretch it so it would be easier for the barber to just go over it. And I didn't want them to like manipulate and tug and pull like they did when I had gotten my big chop. I was starting to get really frustrated with my hair. No particular reason, it was just becoming too much of a task, and I thought getting my ends trimmed would just kind of make it easier so I didn't have to work so hard to make my ends look good. So I walked into the barber shop. The barber in the first chair had asked all the other barbers who was available to cut my hair, and this one guy was like, I'm available. I was like, okay, cool. I sat in his chair and my little sister sat directly across from me, and he had asked what I wanted. So when I was explaining it to him, I remember saying very clearly I wanted a trim, but I wanted the trim to kind of even out my entire fro, if that makes sense. So the haircut that I had prior, the front of my head it wasn't super short, but it was probably a little shorter than the middle of my head, which was significantly longer because when I had went to the barbershop the first time, he kind of gave me a tapered look and like kind of faded the back and all that stuff. So I told this barber that I wanted my trim I wanted the rest of my hair to be even to the length of the front of my head. And he said, yeah, no problem. Then he saw the back of my head and noticed it was significantly shorter, and I said, yeah, I know that the back of my head is super short, but I still just want you to like not pay any mind to that and just cut the middle of my head to that. And then afterwards he was like, yeah, I get it. I was super specific. And then he had asked if I wanted to get a lineup or a fade, and I said no, I just want to even out my hair to the length in the front, and that was it. I told him I was growing it out. So he says, yeah, not a problem, and he got to it. When he was before he started, I was like, yeah, this shouldn't take long. this should take like no more than 10 minutes because he's literally just grazing the clippers across my head. And I remember saying, oh, I don't want anything crazy, you know, I don't want to like leave with no hair. So in my head, I only thought this was gonna take 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. And he got to it, he was cutting my hair and I didn't think anything of it. I kept looking at my little sister, asking her like, does it look, like how does it look, like is it okay? She said, yeah, everything's fine. So 10 minutes later, I'm thinking like, okay, like he's been going over a certain section a lot. So then he moves from there and he continues on, and this whole haircut probably took like almost 30 minutes. And I'm just like, wow, it took really long for something that I thought was super simple. So he turns me around and he shows me the haircut and he asks, are you sure you don't want a fade or anything? And I said, yeah, I'm positive I'm growing my hair out. He says, okay, I pay him, I leave. Like my first impression of the haircut was like, I was like, oh wow, it looks, you know, like the fro picked out looked really cute. I didn't think it was significantly smaller than the fro I had left with or anything like that. So I went home and I went to wash my hair because he had sprayed hairspray, and I really hate hairspray. So I went home and I decided to deep condition my hair. So I'm in the shower and I'm wetting my hair, and I just knew as soon as the water hit my head, I knew that a lot of my hair was missing, because it just felt like, it felt as if I didn't have any hair on my head. So I'm washing it and I'm just like letting the water run on it just to like get it wet. And I went to go grab the deep conditioner and start raking the product through my hair. And as soon as I put the deep conditioner in my hair to rake it through, I realized I didn't have any length to rake it through anymore. Like he basically cut my edges off. Like my edge, like the front of my head was so much shorter than it was when I first, like when I went to him, but the middle of my head was still so long, you know, like it was as if he didn't cut anything in the middle, which was what I wanted to be cut. So I'm literally there like feeling, you know, the perimeter of my head, and I'm realizing, yo, this dude just took off my edges. My edges they weren't the longest part, but this part right here, this is it stretched out. This part right here was it was a lot longer than it is right now. In my last video when I showed you guys my length check, he pretty much cut all of my edges off. And I was in the shower, like I was just calling my little sister. I was like, why, like I was just so confused. I was just like, why is it like this? So I'm just like looking at it and I'm just like, my edges are gone. Like he cut off my edges. Imagine going to get a trim and you coming out with no edges. I guess because it was in a fro, when I walked out, I didn't notice how short the front was, because the back kind of like made up for the space that was gone. Like it didn't register to me when I first walked out the barbershop. But when I got home and I just knew it was bad. So I'm in the shower, I put the deep conditioner in my hair, and I had like a little baby, it was as if I almost got a buzz cut. But not like a buzz cut, but like it was so short. It was a lot shorter than the length that it was in my last video. And that was, after that, I became so frustrated with my hair. I felt like it was such a setback, because the part where he cut my hair the most was the part that had grown out the most in the past 4 months prior to that update video. And I felt like I was starting all over again. I was in the same, my hair was shorter than it was in my reveal video. And I felt like I was in the same spot that I started in, and having already been frustrated with my hair, that just really threw me off, and I stopped really taking care of my hair like that after the haircut. And yeah, that was my little mini natural hair horror story. It's since grown out. It's not as long as it was in my last video, but it's not as short as it was when I first got the haircut. So It took about a month, probably not until last month did I start to take care of my hair again and just put a little more effort and love it a little more, just because I needed a break from it, and that's kind of why I'm in a protective style right now. So I guess I'll like transition into the 6-month update. So I wrote a couple things down to update you guys on. For the first 4 months of my natural hair journey, I was constantly in my hair. When I tell you constantly in my hair, I was always styling it, finger coiling it, trying to figure out what it can do, what it can't do. And I was just always in my hair. And I was always trying new products. I was buying a new deep conditioner every week. Every time I would buy a deep conditioner, try it, I would like it or not, and I would go back out and I'd get another one. I was trying new gels, I was trying new leave-ins, I was trying so much stuff in my hair, and I feel like my hair, after a while, it was like, all right, girl, you need to chill, because I had products that I knew worked that were kind of not working anymore. So after I got the haircut, I think the haircut was what I needed to kind of just give my hair a break. And I found that in that month that I gave my hair a break, that my hair, you know, kind of stopped shedding so much. So over the past month or so, I have stopped trying so many new products, and I have stopped really manipulating my hair. I don't comb it, I try my best not to touch it unless I'm oiling it or moisturizing it. And yeah, honestly, my goal for the next few months is to just leave it alone and just like let it do its thing, because I think that's where that breakage that I was seeing was coming from, because I was constantly in it. Another thing that I wanted to tell you guys was that I was going to start protective styling. Since I don't want to touch my hair so much, I'm going to try to put in styles that'll last for about 2 weeks. I want to eventually get to a place where I can leave a hairstyle in for about a month. I used to do that when I was younger, and I think it's like super convenient. Even just having these in for the past week, I love it so much more than having my natural hair out, because I don't have to think about it, I don't have to touch it. Every other day I'll like oil it or something and I'm good to go. So I've had these in for about a week, and I'm going to take them out next Saturday and put them right back in. Not right back in, I think I'm going to leave my hair out for the weekend, and then I'll put them back in probably on Monday or Tuesday. So there will be a lot more protective styling in my future, because I can't be bothered with my hair anymore. Between combs and using that sponge, my hair was it was breaking off, and I was just thinking like, oh, it's probably still damaged hair, and I realized it was probably hair that I was damaging while styling it with all this stuff. So there's that. And then another thing that I wanted to tell you guys was, I told you guys in my last video that I was going to try a hair vitamin, and I did. I bought the Main Choice Metabolism multivitamin, and I had been using it for 2 weeks in November, and I just stopped after about 2 weeks because 1, I had gotten the bad haircut, and 2, I was in the middle of finals week and I kept forgetting to take them, so I just stopped. So that is all that I have for you guys on my natural hair horror story and my 6-month update. I'm kind of bummed that I don't really have much to show for my hair after 6 months of being natural. It was my expectation that by 6 months I would have had, you know, significant hair growth, my hair would be thriving, I would be thriving as a natural and all this good stuff, but that's not the case. That is all that I have for you guys today. I want to thank you so much for sticking it out with me these past couple months with my natural hair journey and my sporadic posting of videos. I really do appreciate it, and I really do appreciate all 100, I think it's all 150 of you guys now. I thank you guys so much for leaving comments and being super encouraging and supportive. I really, really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.